Hey everybody, this is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine. Um, I hope everybody's hanging in there. Things are really rough. I haven't made a video in a while. I've been doing really bad. I've been working on some stuff, or trying to work on some stuff, but my attackers just make me like really dizzy. Um, Torture my nervous system and my brain is just so bad right now. Um, so I had a hope that in October, I still have a hope that, cyber torture will be talked about. But I think everybody's kind of upset, and I'm kind of upset too, and I'm trying to kind of look at this the reports of the General Assembly, the 75th session. They've been put out like kind of a agenda of what they're going to talk about, and it doesn't have a section where cyber torture is the title, so it you know kind of makes me think they're going to talk about things in general all over the world. Maybe like say something about like, ooh, harassment online or something, and then not do anything about it. I was really hoping for this. I'm still, we can still work with it, but I kind of want to just go through it. There are some sections where it's like I feel like in those sections where Niels Melzer is gonna give a report. And sorry about sorry. I know I look like crap. I know I look like crap. I'm laughing. Everything is so bad. It's so bad. I just hope y'all are hanging in there. We're going to say a prayer at the end of this one, but I just wanted to do a short video, kind of going through some of these and seeing, like, are we going to be in there? I mean, is Niels Melzer going to talk about cyber torture? And when he does talk about cyber torture, and I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. I'm kind of also wondering, is this concrete? Like, is this everything? Is this just like a maybe an outline, and then there are going to be some reports that they haven't put into the agenda right now? Probably not. I don't know. I'm hoping so, but let's go through some of these. They're going to be talking about like COVID a lot, and also like racism a lot and everything like that. But I just wanted to go through the ones that where we might be talked about, or where targeted individuals might be talked about, where cyber torture might be talked about, because some of the headings for reports from Niels Melzer kind of include what's happening to us. It's just like I feel like they're not going to concretely say cyber torture, neurotechnologies being abused, people being experimented on, people being tortured, people being isolated in their homes, psychologically, physically tortured, by directed energy weapons. We all just know how powerful the military industrial complexes and then the global forces above them who are carrying out this stuff are. And we all know that they pull, the global forces are, pull the strings of the UN, especially the General Assembly members. I don't know how much they pull the strings of Niels Melzer though. But let's look at some of these. I just hope y'all are all surviving. I know everybody's kind of just doing really bad, and I'm doing really bad. I'm just trying to think of stuff. I'm kind of what I'm doing is I'm bearing down. I'm just like hunkering down, surviving. Kind of like looking. Everything's so crazy, and I'm just hurting so bad. Like my brain can't think. My spine hurts. It's murder. It's murder where it's just like they keep me alive, but I just don't feel like myself. And then everything's so complicated in the world, and everything's going on in the fires that are started by directed energy. They're started by this directed energy system weapon grid around a global grid, right? fires, weather, mind control, and I was thinking, and I don't want to get too far off, but I haven't made a video in a while, so I might ramble a little bit. I'm gonna put this link in the description for you guys to look at. I saw it, on the first person I saw that put it out was SHP. On SHP's channel, she was talking about it. Please go to SH. It's like SH space P. She's working her butt off. She's getting tortured really hard. She's finding a lot of evidence online. I've also got to do that, but I'm just so tired. I'm so tired, and I'm just like what I'm trying to do, because the psychic driving so bad. It's like I've got layers like audible V2K, then inner voice V2K, then like subliminal stuff through the the ringing in the ears and stuff like that. And I'm trying to like just do externally, like play video games, watch YouTube, fill up the external stimulation, right? So I can drown out, what's going on. It's crazy. It's crazy. The life we lead is crazy. What's going on in the world is crazy. Please, Jesus Christ, give us strength. Please, God, give us strength. But let's go through some of the ones. I'll try not to ramble too much, but I might. So, report a special rapporteur on the sale and sexual exploitation of children, including child prostitution, child pornography, and any other child sexual abuse material. Doesn't really have anything to do. I mean, kids are getting tortured by this, and they're getting surveilled by this, which some of the surveillance, could be sold. So it's like some of these, like they have one on, modern forms of slavery in here, and I think that would be, we are enslaved by, like, in an electromagnetic cage. We're enslaved, and then they're making money off of us, and we can't do anything, so we're not free, right? We're not physically free in this world. So modern form, like one of them is a modern form of slavery. A lot of these we fit into the categories, but it just doesn't in bold print say, cyber torture. We're going to do a section where Niels Melzer is going to talk about cyber torture. Kind of reduce my trash pile there. And and guys, like, I know I wear these glasses on the videos. I've been wearing them a lot. And the other night, I was like, these glasses, they just make me look stupid, and I don't think they work. And I like took them off. I took them off, and this side of my face like got really like around the eye got sore, and I instantly, like, my attacker started making me like feel like I was gonna fall asleep, where it was just like I couldn't stay awake. I don't know, maybe they just switched things up since I took the glasses off, but I feel like they do help. Just wanted to throw that in there, because my hair is all messed up and I'm wearing these silly glasses. I look funny. I did shave. I shaved this part, just the neck, but I think I'm keeping my beard, and then I gotta get a haircut. We're in phase 3 in Louisiana. We're in phase 3 of the reopening. It starts tomorrow, like phase 3 of the reopening, but then there's still a mandate on masks that probably will not go away for however long, until like the next wave or the next pandemic comes out. So maybe I can go get a haircut tomorrow or this weekend or something like that. So, rights of indigenous people. Let's go down a bit here. Okay, here's the one. This A75 179 72A interim report of the Special Rapporteur on torture and other cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. A note by the Secretary General. What is that? Is there a special note there? They may be talking about us. They may be talking about cyber torture there. And I want to go back real quick. I want to go back to Oh, I thought I had this pulled up. Okay. This is a report that Niels Melzer gave the Human Rights Council. I'm not sure when. I don't want to go back up to the top because then I'm going to have to come all the way back down and find this. But I will put this also in the description and label it for you guys. But okay, individuals or groups systematically targeted by cyber surveillance and cyber harassment generally are left without any effective means of defense, escape, or self-protection, and at least in this respect often find themselves in a situation of powerlessness comparable to physical custody, like slavery, physical custody. It's like we're tied to these automated systems, and for me, a hive mind team, like people actually working working the integrated directed energy weapons, the integrated neuro weapon systems. Like I'm in custody of them, also being tortured by them, all just hell, not physically or mentally free, right? And then also the torture degrading my body, my nervous system, my brain, and then doing things with remote neural manipulation that it's like if they took it off, it would maybe correct, but I can't be sure, right? Because it just feels like, oh my God, I can't think that my memory's messed up. Is this permanent, right? So it's not only this physical custody holding down slavery, but like damage. What's the permanent damage, right? So there is permanent damage. Depending on the circumstances, the physical absence and anonymity of the perpetrator can even exacerbate the victim's emotions of helplessness, right? I don't know these people. I don't know these people that are microwaving me. A lot of targeted individuals do think that they know their attackers and stuff like that. But in my case, it's like, some people, a contractor, and they were hired. I was targeted by this program, and then they're people that I probably have never interacted with in my life. Depending on but somebody that I did know probably threw me in here. I'm not really sure because I might have been targeted when I was really young, and then later on it was just made worse by somebody connected to the program. And vulnerability, not unlike the stress augmenting effect of blindfolding or hooding during physical torture. And then there was some more. Okay, more generally, in order to ensure the adequate implementation of the prohibition of torture and related legal obligations in present and future circumstances, its interpretation should evolve in line with new challenges and capabilities arising in relation to emerging technologies, such as neurotechnologies, directed energy weapons, remote neural manipulation, directed energy weapons that can externally torture you. In present and future circumstances, its interpretation should evolve in line with new challenges and capabilities arising in relation to emerging technologies, not only in cyberspace, but also in areas such as artificial intelligence, robotics, nano and neurotechnology, or pharmaceutical and biomedical sciences, including so-called human enhancement. I just wanted to show you all that, right? Because he's making those reports, and look, he's saying a particular area of concern which does not appear to have received sufficient attention is the possible use of various forms of information and communication technology, cyber technology, for the purposes of torture. Now, and it goes a lot further than that, like being harassed online, right? They talk a little bit about that, but it goes into cyber technologies, neurotechnologies, integrated directed energy weapon systems, so ripping apart people's bodies and psychic driving them, and also microwaving their brains and sending voices to the inner ear through the brain, sending pain to the body through the brain, and it goes way further than that. I think this is the number one issue, besides like child sex trafficking, right? That the UN should be focusing on. I mean, I'm kind of like, I know a lot of people are like, man, the UN's not going to do anything. Let me say this. I have to believe, and I have to strive that something magnificent can happen, or the military-industrial complexes, this program, right, the pyramid of this program globally will decide at a certain point, hey, it's time to end this. How are we going to end it? It's sad. That's very sad because I want, we need to end this, but I'm like hoping that, okay, they're going to say it's time to end it, and then they're going to do it in some way. And I was kind of, I was hoping forward in this. Have to retain hope to keep any kind of sanity at all. That things can get better, right? They keep getting worse and worse. But I see the point of you guys. I've seen it all along. I've seen it all along, the point of you guys that are like, the unit's not going to do anything for us. I see it when they're talking about very serious issues, other torture and stuff like that, and they kind of like, they want to look like, hey, we're looking into human rights abuses, and it's all just kind of for show, and they don't really do anything. But who knows, right? And how we can use this, to our advantage with getting medical help and stuff like that. I'm going to be pushing. I have to, no matter what happens in October. I'm talking to tons of targeted individuals that are just like, I can't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore. My mind's that, the sick thing is, I feel like I'm not going to die. I feel like it's just like I'm just, mentally, physically disabled, and it gets worse and worse, and it's like worse than dying, right? That's why I don't want to. So much stuff going on. So many people like losing their homes. I'm surprised a lot of people dying in those fires that were created by directed energy weapons. Probably not all of it was created by directed energy weapons, but it sure was probably helped along, right? We're at war. We are asymmetrical warfare with a global presence. And then sometimes I wonder, they have this global grid, right? And they've got microwave towers, 4G, 5G, whatever, radar, and then satellite, to spread these frequencies, right? But then they're even using the ionosphere and then probably other parts of the atmosphere to create plasma and lightning and fires and things like that with the help of satellites, right? Not just the ones that Elon Musk is putting up. I think all that is to kind of, put some stuff out for the public and things like that, and to kind of trick people into thinking like, oh, that's the most advanced stuff, right? Like Neuralink, Neuralace, we have to put something physical to your brain, right, to send signals to it. But no, the brain is a receiver, and you have magnetite in it. So it's like a trick. They're doing things with it, right? They're doing things with it, but it's almost to trick people, like, oh, we're here, right? It's coming in the future, right? Isn't that the trick? Isn't that the thing that you hear from people? Oh man, it's that transhumanism is on its way. Oh, one day they'll be able to like map the brain and stuff like that. That's like a psychological trick, a psychological conditioning. The top of the pyramid and the system is very good at like tricking. I'll even say it sometimes, like, oh man, we're gonna, they're really gonna surveil us. It's gonna really get bad. No, it's already here. Like mind reading, mind mapping, mind control is already here, and it's been here for many, many years. But they have this conditioning where people are like, oh, that transhumanism, like people who aren't being affected by the technology, oh, that transhumanism, one day we're gonna like, the brain's gonna be able to interact with frequencies and stuff like that. But it's already here. So I just wanted to show you guys that, to show what he said at the Human Rights Council, and then kind of relate it to, well, maybe, and where was that? Yeah, interim report of the Special Rapporteur on Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman, or Degrading Treatment or Punishment. Note by the Secretary General. I don't know where that note is. I am thinking like we should be emailing, like all targeted individuals should be emailing New York at, and I'm going to put this in the description too, New York at ohchr.org. We should all just be sending an email saying, you need to put cyber torture, you need to speak about neurotechnologies and AI, because so many people, right? We've already sent in our emails, but I think we just need to bombard them more, to create something. I always do that. So I don't want to explain it. My brain can't make words. All right. So let's see what else. Now I'll put this in there. And thank you to SHP SH_P for putting a video out about it. I haven't been keeping in touch like with what PAX is doing or with Freedom for Targeted Individuals or Targeted Justice. Like I just haven't. I'm so sick, like not just like physically sick from the torture, but I'm just like I can't research this anymore. I'm trying to like I am doing stuff. I am editing and stuff like that, but it's taking like I can't like I'm putting it off and just like, oh, I'm just gonna kind of hunker down, right, and hunker down, just kind of survive right now. I'm gonna get to it. And I'm like, and it's not really an excuse because it hurts so bad. Like in my brain, like they really, when I try and do anything, like even now, this is why this video is kind of just like I'm just like talking, because I can't organize right now. Like they're just ripping apart my mind. They're ripping apart my mind. So it has to be like this. It has to be relaxed, and I have to just go, okay, I'm just going to talk about stuff, you know. And that sucks. That's why I want to edit, you know, so I can just go, here's the good information. Boom, boom. Here's some good information, right? Looking at the world, I'm just like YouTube. What's, you know, they've got people wearing masks like all over my state and everyone's state and like all over the world, from something you already have, like a, you know, a common cold, and then tricking everybody, and nobody believes this is a, like I've seen people sent me some videos, which I might do a live stream on that in a couple of days maybe, but people like just saying, oh well, this couldn't be true. You know, I'm just, let's speculate on it, right? People not even looking into it when people are all over the world are saying, hey, we're being tortured, we're being cooked to death, our brains are being, you know, being manipulated and stuff like that. And people are just, oh, that's mental illness because I don't want to believe it. Oh, you're not wearing a mask because you care about your freedom. Oh, you're a villain, right? I mean, they've gotten people to just believe the craziest things and do the craziest things. So I'm just like, where's the hope there? Where's the hope that people will, you know, have some logic? I don't even want to say wake up. There's a good percentage of the world that's woken up. But you think about this, you think about a kind of a microcosm as targeted individuals being targeted by these weapons, being mind controlled, being tortured and murdered, and then we're talking to a bigger percentage, right? And that bigger percentage is saying we don't want to deal with that, right? Now we've got the, you know, the pandemic, the people who are like, hey, you know, we don't need to wear masks. This like a plandemic. I'm just gonna say plandemic. I don't even know if that word is censored or whatever, but that it's almost like, and you got to think about the top of the pyramid and the evil system and the evil kind of deep state level system and that layer of the pyramid that's saying, well, we're going to have that percentage, right? We're going to have that percentage, but we can control like how information gets out, and then that bigger percentage of the world, they're not going to care about it. Like if they have to just wear a mask and they can still go to work and stuff like that, they'll just be living in a different reality, right? Splitting us up into different realities almost. So you know, I guess my point on that was, and I don't even want to say it, like I don't have a lot of hope for the world waking up. That's also why I haven't been making a lot of videos. We need hope. Like we need hope. We need to believe there's some good protests and things like that. But dealing with this targeting and how everybody's ignored us on such an important issue, I'm just like, why are people going to listen now? Like percentages, right? Yeah, small percentage tortured. Who's going to listen to them? A small percentage listens to them and joins them, but it doesn't really affect it because they've already figured it out in the algorithms. Okay, well, with you know, COVID and whatever, and you know, the craziness of the you know, cities being destroyed and murder everywhere, people being murdered, it's like, well, a certain percentage will speak out about it. They'll convince some people, but it's almost like they've worked it out already, you know. I feel like they wouldn't go through with some of these things if they ever thought that it would matter. That yeah, I don't want to say stuff like that. We've got to keep fighting and helping each other and believing. The world is just so fallen. It's just the darkest time. The darkness. the darkness. It's like the darkest times, you know. But we got to keep hope. You know, we're still alive. We're still surviving. We got to survive and help each other and do the best we can for the people who have died from this evil. So I've really gotten off track here. Look at this. Okay, look at this. Can we use this? Report of the Secretary General on special fund established by the optional protocol to the Convention Against Torture and other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. Note by the Secretariat. So can we access that special fund? There's something else too. Look, United Nations Voluntary Fund for Victims of Torture, report of the Secretary General. Maybe we should start looking into those funds. Like if there's funds in the UN for victims of torture, can we apply for those funds for that help? Because it's like I can't work. You know, I'm on Social Security. I can't work right now. I keep thinking I need to do something, but it would just be impossible. Because my attackers, like, I'll start. I do have some stuff like going on with the editing. Like I've actually got some good stuff. It's just gonna take forever because I'm. But it's like I'll start doing something. They're messing with it too on the computer. But it's like I'll start something and they'll just make me just so dizzy that like I'm looking at the screen. Like earlier I was looking at the screen, right? You know, I was so dizzy that I couldn't even see or read the words, right? And then the pain up the left side of the back and up here. I'm gonna push it though. I'm gonna push it with some medical, like trying to get some medical help, telling some doctors, maybe seeing if I can go in and say like, hey, well, tell them about the targeting or whatever. I'm pretty precocious about that with doctors because I have a psychiatrist, so I have that buffer, you know, that I can maybe talk to him about it and maybe see if some doctors would I don't know if they do that. Like get on, if I could put them on YouTube if they do believe me or something like that. I don't know. I'm thinking. I'm trying to think with this microwave brain of mine of things to actually make things better for us and survive all this. The darkness. The darkness. The darkness. Okay, so we need to check on those funds. Can we get money? Can we get that money? Because we're going to need those funds to sue the crap out of these contractors in the DoD. I think we should all just sue the Pentagon in America, and then whatever your country is, your version of the Pentagon, because it all comes from them. They have global strings above them, right? Which probably is pretty complicated. But this all comes from the Pentagon and DARPA, you know, in America, probably some other smaller countries too, right? Allies of America. So let's just look at the ones that might pertain to us, where we might be mentioned, but you know, cyber torture is not. It's not concretely on the marquee. Okay, report of the Special Rapporteur on the issue of human rights obligations relating to the enjoyment of a safe, clean, healthy, and sustainable environment. We don't have that as targeted individuals. It's just like I feel like if we're just thrown in there, we're gonna have to whenever he gives the report. You know, I guess we're gonna have to watch them. A target individual sent me a place where they do put them on YouTube, but we're gonna have to find like a way to and I'm sure it'll all be on video. And then we're gonna have to get it if they do like start talking about cyber torture, neurotechnology, targeted individuals. If they say that word or anything like that, we need to like clip that and get that evidence and work with that, right? But it seems like there's not going to be a section just on that. But in the human, he has already declared it in the Human Rights Council. You know, the Special Rapporteur on Torture for the UN has already declared it in a bunch of human rights councils, saying it's very important and often overlooked, right? And then they're overlooking it here. See, report this A75 16672B X5710 Report of the Special Rapporteur on Human Rights Defenders. Note by the Secretary General. On all those ones about no, wait, that's the wrong one. Report of the Special Rapporteur on contemporary forms of slavery, including its causes and consequences. Now, wait, contemporary forms of slavery. I feel like a slave. I'm like a slave that's being tortured. They don't want me to do work. They want to keep me from actually doing productive work. But then they are, studying my brain and messing up my nervous system. It's weird how these that I think that we maybe mentioned. I don't know. This could be nothing, but it says note by the Secretary General. Note by maybe afterwards he's going to give a note on it or something. Or there's a special note on that. I don't know. Report on the Special Rapporteur on trafficking in persons, especially in women and children, that we are human trafficked. We're not going anywhere, right? They're not taking us anywhere. We often have to move because we're trying to get away from the torture. But this is human trafficking. I mean, it's using our bodies. It's using our brains, experimentation and collecting data and things like that. Collecting on data on what we do while we're being tortured and what they can get us to do by messing with our brain and things like that. So it is a form of human trafficking. I remember there was somebody who was talking about that. A lot of people are like, this is human trafficking, and then there were some targeted individuals that were like, this has nothing to do with human trafficking. It's just that's like taking people across state lines and stuff like that, and using them for sex or whatever. But I think that human trafficking, if you're using somebody, hurting them, hurting their brain and stuff, like using them for money, for dark science, right? What would you call it? Training, research, and development. I think that's the best way you can put it. Training, research, and development of these weapon systems, and in the protocols, right? And the human operators and how they work with the autonomous systems and the development of AI, right? Mixing the AI with the human brain while the torture's going on. Other forms of that also go on, but like developing AI with this stuff. So many angles, so many complicated angles while they rip apart our brains, and then we have to like try and explain it when it should just be like, hey, we're being tortured. Directed energy weapons. Like there's directed energy weapons. Look, let me show you. Let me show you. Hey, look, and this is just one example. Kirtland Air Force Base, AFRL Directed Energy Directorate. The Air Force Research Laboratory Directed Energy Directorate is a department of the Air Force's Center of Expertise for Directed Energy and Optical Technologies, located at Kirtland Air Force Base, New Mexico. The Directorate develops and transitions technologies in 4 core technical competencies: laser systems, high power electromagnetics. Now they're calling it electromagnetics. You look at all these contractors, you look at all these Air Force bases, and they used to call it high power microwaves. That sounds too dangerous, right? Yeah, microwaves really hurt, especially when they're put on your body and they're put around your head 24 hours a day for like 2 decades or maybe more. At least overtly for like almost a decade. Some of you guys 30 years. A lot of you guys, 5 years, 10 years. And now they kind of, when you see it now, they change to high power electromagnetics, weapons modeling and simulation, and directed energy and electro optics for space superiority. They always talk about this satellite-based weapons to shoot missiles out of the sky. Lasers on boats and stuff like that, but there is. I mean, we look at Air Force Research Laboratory. Air Force Research Laboratory has open contracts, right? They've had open $100 million contracts on human research with microwaves, with directed energy. I also want to mention this. I was wearing the helmet in my last video. I think a lot of people didn't like that or whatever. I mean, I've done so many productive videos. It's a motorcycle helmet. Let's calm down. But when I say photonic energy, I know that sounds maybe crazy. Brian too also says that it's a form of electromagnetics. it's a form of wow. It's a form of electromagnetic frequency, right? Photonic energy and scalar energy, right? So I know sometimes it's like, what are you talking about? Photonic energy, invisible light, but invisible light, photonic energy is just something on the electromagnetic spectrum that they use. An advanced, kind of like something they found that's kind of advanced, like scalar, but electromagnetic frequency. I think. Yeah. Maybe scalar waves aren't necessarily classified. No, I think scalar waves would be classified as electromagnetic frequencies. You got Charles and Nicholas comment. Correct me on that if I'm wrong. AFRL pioneered the first and only megawatt class airborne laser. Is blah 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 blah. The director is transitioning game-changing counter-electronics and laser system technologies to the warfighter. Okay, so we just showed that, and then I want to read this article like maybe on a live stream, maybe do some shorter live streams. I don't have a lot of stamina, mental stamina. Neurotechnology, I read why we need a treaty to regulate weapons controlled by thinking. A lot of at least in my case, and I think a lot of people's cases, like my hive mind team, they do brain to machine to brain interface. Like they will put emotions that they're having, visuals, inner voice things. So they will connect their brain to mine, right? And then I've also got the automated stuff, but they're training people on how to use systems, weapon systems and things controlled by the mind, right? So these things, and there was something that Mike sent me. It was a psychiatrist, and he was like, well, it's so stupid. Like I may do a live stream on it, but he's like, well, let me just, I'm just gonna. What did he say? He was like, I'm just gonna kind of, I can't remember what he said, but he was like, it's very important what he said, because he wasn't like, I'm gonna go by facts. He was saying, I'm going to hypothesize, right? So he didn't do any research. He looked at a bunch of targeted individuals' testimonies, and not mine, not targeted individuals like me that put up articles, put up the contractors, put up James G. Dorno, Robert Duncan, John Hall, everybody. He just and this is why targeted individuals need to put information out, because they'll look at your stuff and then they can just say, well, I hypothesize that you're mentally ill, right? Like, and he was just like, oh, I'm hypothesizing that, these people, blah, 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 and this, all the stuff that he said, without looking at one fact, without researching it. That's what people do now. They're like, hey, I don't want to believe that this is happening, so I'm going to go ahead and hypothesize. I've done research, this is being done to me, and he even said it in the video. He was like, they usually don't bring any kind of evidence, right? That's like hypothesizing, making up something in your head, and making sure that you look for targeted individuals that are only giving testimonies, and make sure that you don't look for any kind of targeted individual organizations that put up so much concrete evidence. People that worked on the systems, Robert Duncan, nuts. I'll show you some of these guys. I like talking about them because I'm like, this is happening. So let's look at the fools who think that they're like above us and they think they're smart. They just want to live their comfortable lives, right? They don't want to deal with this. They don't want this to be true. So they make up theories. They make up facts to support their theories instead of making up theories to support their facts, right? It's exact. And there's another doofus. Sorry, I was about to say. There's another doofus who did that too. We might have a live stream where I just rip into him, but politely, all right? Politely rip into them. I just don't think we should be worried about those people. But it's good. For me, it's like an exercise in, okay, what are people going to say to refute this reality that needs to be stopped immediately, right? With everything else that's going on in the world, especially because you got this weapons grid, right? This global weapons grid. They're trying to fill it in with 5G. Elon Musk is putting up satellites to fill in this global infrastructure, right? And then it's like they can directly target somebody, but then massive frequencies, broadband frequencies in certain areas or all over the globe. And if they're ELF, if low frequency, right, they use the like if they use the ionosphere, which they also do stuff just on the ground level too, but they use the ionosphere. That low frequency, how many people can they affect with that low frequency? And it almost changes freaking reality. Because when people are at high frequency, things happen, right? When you're at low frequency, things don't go right and stuff like that. And it's like they do that to the entire human race, like just press down with low frequencies. And how much of this crap do they have pressing down on the whole human race? I know that may sound crazy, but it's not. They've got a grid. They're starting fires with it. They're controlling weather with it. They're individually targeting people. They're broadband targeting like certain populations to do certain things. This is fact, right? It's a fact that it needs to be fixed immediately. And we got people running around getting mad at you if you don't wear masks. Old people jumping like 10 feet if you've pulled your mask down, right? Freaking out about that, and then participating in gang stalking and like just believing the lies of stuff while I'm being experimented on, right? You guys are being experimented on. Nuts. It just obviously nuts, right? Obviously nuts. So contemporary forms of slavery, it just doesn't say cyber torture. But I still think that he could put it in there, and if it's on video, if he has a section of cyber torture with neurotechnologies, AI, and things like that, and then maybe he throws in, because we've sent him a lot of testimonies, he has that. So I don't know who he has to clear this stuff with to talk about it. And I hope maybe that all of this isn't all of it. There's going to be additional reports, right? It's not hopeful. It's not hopeful. Seeing this is not hopeful to what I want it to happen. But he's already said it in human rights councils, and we're gonna see. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But it's not good. It's not good. Okay, so trafficking in persons, especially women and children. Report of the independent expert on the enjoyment of human rights by persons with albinism? Albinos? Not laughing at albinos, I'm just saying. I mean, can an albino have a happy life? Do people just like chase after them? Or okay, so there were some other ones. There was a couple more where they might mention us. Hopefully, have a section on. And I have received reports from many people who are actually being targeted by cyber torture. It's isolating them. It's affecting their bodies. It's affecting their psyche and everything like that. I doubt that he'll go as far as to say talk about mind control, remote neural manipulation, how this affects the nervous system and the brain. But if he could just get a little bit there, right? And then we can use that. Just get that door. This is like a thing that you get leverage with. It's like you're opening. If we could just get a hold of that, That wasn't a very good miming thing. Rights for Freedom Association. Okay, no. This one's interesting. I know what they mean, but it made me think of something. It reported the Special Rapporteur on the human rights of internally displaced persons. I'm internally displaced. They mean like internally displaced, like you live in a certain country or a certain state, and then like a hurricane comes through and you're internally displaced in your country, right? I think that's what they mean. But I thought my thinking was like inside my body I'm displaced. They're messing with my brain and my body and stuff like that, and like it's like I don't even feel like myself anymore. I'm making it though. I gotta be hopeful, Still have a lot of faith. I don't have a lot of faith in man. I think this is the direct result of men gaining power at the top who do not believe in God, who want to be God. I mean, it's the direct result of that. And the first people they go after are people who are believers, right? And they're scared of that connection. I think they may even know that there's a divine connection and a God, and they just reject him. They just reject him and want to be on their own and stuff like that, and want to get rid of anybody with that divine connection because they are influenced by evil that knows the strength in that, right? Think about what they do to us, how they toxify our bodies, toxify our pineal glands, make sure they want to cut that connection because it's dangerous to evil. It's dangerous to evil, so dangerous to evil. We have to reconnect, hold on to that connection, especially in times when it's like this is just nuts. Especially in those times, hold on to hope and hold on to faith. Good things can happen along the way, and we can do what I'm having a hard time thinking of words, but we can do noble things to help people and great things unto our death. And maybe I'll, I don't want to say that, but maybe, I don't know, may get cancer soon, may get hit by a bus, whatever. I may have mobs coming after me, mask wearing, gang stalking, like chainsaw mobs coming after me or something like that soon. I don't know. So up until that time, to do as best we can. Sometimes we just gotta, survive and hunker down. But even those times, we pray, we hope, we build up courage, build up faith, try and just do our best, right? Especially with the mind control. It's like that is really paralyzed me. It's like, and they're doing stuff that I can't. They're doing so many layers and angles, I can't keep track of it. It's an immediate stoppage needs to be put to it. But we know how crazy the world has become, and sometimes it's like good people also have to reach a new normal of what we can bear, how we deal with people who don't know about it. We are in a new world, right? And good people, us, we have to find new ways to deal. We have to become new, more connected to Christ, more connected to God, right? And then we have to find ways to, in this bizarre world, doing maybe good, bizarrely good things, right? Bizarrely good. It can't live the same way against this kind of evil. I don't know. I'm not doing that much right now, so I don't want to I'm doing the greatest. I'm evolved and blah blah blah. But I'm trying to get there, right? We're all trying to get there. Just do our best. I'm playing this new Avengers game. It's really good. That's something that's really good. That's really positive. Kind of keeps my mind off things. Really, I never thought I'd see such great video games in my life. Great thing about technology. But then while I'm playing the video games that were made by such a great technology and using AI and stuff in the games, I'm also being attacked. My brain and my nervous system and my body is being attacked by AI directed energy weapons. Like the good side, the cool side of technology, and the awful side of technology. Report of the Special Rapporteur on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Let's see. Okay, this report of the Special Rapporteur on the negative impact of unilateral coercive measures on the enjoyment of human rights. Now that would be something that has to do with targeting, because these are contractors, DHS, Infraguard, and everything doing the gang stalking. These are unilateral coercive measures, right? So in these, I see that that our situation could be mentioned. Also, want to mention this because I said DHS. You look at the you look at the riots and everything like that, and the killings and everything like that, and you look at Antifa and BLM, versus patriots and stuff like that, and all the violence that's going on, and it's just like DHS is growing in power, and now it's like with new targeted individuals they want to pull in, they can be like, oh, that person is a radical, is a rioter, right? Or that person is like a they probably, I don't know if they call them a patriot, but they're a conservative, they're a right wing, alt alt right, dangerous white national, right? With these things that are going on, DHS is just building. It can call targeted individuals anything, right? Many other ways they're gaining power. Scary, scary stuff. Problem, reaction, solution. Big time on that. I'm watching that guy. I need to do a lot of videos. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I'm kind of backing off because there's so much, and I don't want to look at it all the time, right? Because I'm gonna lose my mind. But he was giving. I think his name's Wolf. Wolf in the Gates. Wolf in the Gates. The director of Homeland Security, giving speeches, about how like we're gonna put up the wall, which I think a wall is actually a good idea. I guess I shouldn't get into that, but talk about like lying, saying we're gonna make sure we use the law to prosecute people, and they do extra legal torture, extra legal gang stalking and surveillance. They never talk about it. They never talk about this stuff. They hide it. They're liars, obviously they're liars. So that's something, right? They reported the special rapporteur on the negative impact. So we're going to need to look at these ones that sound like they might have something to do with us. And I'm not sure. Maybe this could change. Like maybe this isn't everything. They might add on something. I don't know. Somebody could maybe comment, is this in fact concrete? This is it. So reporter special rapporteur on the negative impact of unilateral coercive measures of the enjoyment of human rights. Okay. Now, definitely have to do with us. We're being tortured. We're being, remote neural manipulated, mind raped, body raped with microwaves, isolated, kept from living the productive life that we want, cut off from our families. Some of our family members are also being mind tortured, and body tortured and things like that, and don't even know, playing around with families, and then some families are actually gang stalking, perpetrating on people in their families, pitting families together or pulling families apart. That may have been it. That may have been the only ones. Let's look through a little bit more. Okay, it seems like those were the ones where, we might be mentioned. The biggest one, and there may have been a reason why they made it so general, and where he'll talk about us, and if we can get exactly what he says, the A75 179 72A dash 00A5B7 ZZ top. So this one, right? The interim report of the special rapporteur on torture and other cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. Note by the Secretary General. Let's look at this Human Rights Council thing and see what it's called. Torture and other cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. So, okay, we just did it. We just did it on this video. I think we figured it out. They're not putting it in the marquee on the agenda, but look at what the Human Rights Council, if we could get even something like this in a report to the General Assembly, where he says, look, in this, so this is going to put this in the description. This is the Human Rights Council 43rd session, torture and other cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. This long report right here, And then there's a section, section on a lot of psychological torture, no touch torture. It's really long. That's why I didn't want to go to the top earlier. The big section on cyber torture, and it's the same title, right? So that's kind of hopeful. I think that's the one where cyber torture will be mentioned. All right, guys. I really think that. Pepper, applaud. Okay, so and it'll be even if it's just this stuff, but he did this before he got those submissions, right, from many targeted individuals and coalitions and organizations who are electronically tortured with directed energy weapons and neuro weapons, right? So I think that's the one where we maybe mentioned. We're going to have to watch. But I don't think I was kind of hopeless at the beginning of this video, but I think this is the thing. I think this is the thing, guys. This thing. I think this is it, man. Okay. I'm gonna see what the conclusions and recommendations. I wonder if there's anything. Okay. Oh. Challenges of new technologies, and I've read this before on videos, but let me just read it again. Challenges of new technologies in order to ensure the adequate implementation of the prohibition of torture and related international legal obligations in present and future circumstances. Its interpretation should evolve in line with new challenges and capabilities arising in relation to emerging technologies. They're not even really emerging, they're just being advanced, being refined, right, being what's the word, I can't remember now, like I'm really beat up from the torture, but scaled up, advanced, refined and everything like that. But yeah, with new challenges and capabilities arising in relation to emerging technologies, not only in cyberspace but also in areas such as artificial intelligence, robotics, nano and neurotechnology, or pharmaceutical and biomedical sciences, including so-called human enhancement, right? So even with the stuff that he's okay, oh man, okay, so even if it's something like that, but he's gotten so many testimonies from targeted individuals, right? And he's talked to Liliana, he's talked to Magnus Olson, so I think that's going to be the section, right? I think that's going to be the section. So maybe they just didn't put it on the agenda, cyber torture. It's going to be in that bigger section, right? It's going to be in that bigger section, and they're going to talk about all these different forms of emerging new tortures. Interim report of the Special Rapporteur on torture and other cruel, inhumane, degrading treatment and punishment. And it has that same title as the thing with the Human Rights Council, right? The 43rd or whatever. So I think we're still good. I think we're still going to be mentioned. I just don't think it's on the marquee. Like, it's just not a title of one of these. Okay, I think we figured it out. Okay, guys, so I just wanted to go through that. I'm going to put this in the description. And thank you, SHP. I think people have been passing around, but I haven't been staying in touch with anything. So I'm glad that she made a video about it. So I just wanted to show that, go through, and I think we figured it out in this video. It's kind of it was impromptu, but I think we figured it out, so we don't have to lose all hope that we're not going to be on it. It's probably just going to be in that bigger section there, right? And then who knows how general it will be. I'm kind of contemplating. Well, I won't go into all that on this video because that's just what I wanted to show y'all and give y'all this, right? Put this in the description, like SHP put it in the description of her video, and then I'm also going to put that Human Rights Council thing. I guess I'll just put everything that I showed in the video. Oh, I did want to show this real quick. I think I showed this at the end of another video, but I'll definitely put this in the description. So this is nano brain implant. This is Magnus Olson's website. UN starts investigation to ban cyber torture. And then this is from that same Human Rights Council thing that Niels Melzer wrote that report. And it says, in that, yeah, and it says that same thing. I won't read it over, but yeah, see right here. More generally, in order to ensure the adequate implementation of prohibition and torture and related legal obligations, basically the most important part, not only in cyberspace but also in areas such as artificial intelligence, robotics, nanotechnology, neurotechnology, or pharmaceutical and biomedical sciences, including so-called human enhancement. So we get over that, get that door open, right? I don't know. I don't know how good it's going to be, but I did want to show you all that, and just say I love you guys, and I hope you're hanging in there. And let's say a prayer. Man, it's just like full-scale war on humanity, and like we were already put in a bad place. I just think about that movie, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and it was like, was it in 2016? 2015 or 2000, something like that, and they, like, Hydra has this algorithm to target people who could maybe be a threat to Hydra, and then Captain America defeats them and stuff like that. But it had a lot of stuff about mind control and Bucky too, and I'm just like, dude, they messed me up and tortured me for so long, and then we get to this hot spot, right? The pandemic, everything's going, the New World Order is coming out full swing, where more percentage of the world is like, oh, okay, this is not conspiracy theory. They're trying to kill us. They're trying to do sustainable development by over our dead bodies, and I'd already been tortured so long. A lot of you guys had already been tortured so long, and I'm just like, I think about that movie, and I'm like, it's an angle. It's an angle, People who could have been a threat. We're still going to be a threat. We're still going to be a threat. I got to get my act together. I'm doing it. We're all doing a good job. Going against mind control every day. I mean, the V2K, people, you targeted individuals that have V2K, you really understand. God, it's so bad. Just years. 2011, my V2K started. That's 9 years of non-stop conversation. Non-stop conversation. It's like batters my head. I've gotten ways to where it's just like, it's like I can block it out while it's still there in this weird way that's hard to explain. But then it's like sometimes, like, I was just, it's not even fun. I used to make fun of it or laugh. I guess I still need to try and do that, but I was like getting my Doritos and I was like, I need to get a little bit of fuel today, right? Something in my belly. And then the inner voice V2K, because they have layers of it, right? They have audible V2K that I can hear, but the inner voice V2K said that's not good fuel. It's stuff like that all the time. Inner voice layer, and some of it's like automated, like to how it's just nuts. Plus the just I can, like, they'll stimulate my vagus nerve, and I can feel myself going into fight or flight mode because it's doing something to my nervous system, my brain, right? Along with another angle of specified remote neural manipulation. So bad, so bad. We're getting through it. We're gonna survive. Whatever is going on in this world. Until Jesus comes back, or until we're taken home. Till we're taken home, we just fight the good fight. I do think that I do think that's it. I do think that general one, that's where it's going to be. So just because they didn't put cyber torture in this, I think we figured it out in this video. Those two things. I didn't even plan that. Maybe God's hand was involved in that, so people wouldn't lose hope. We just got till 9/10. Ooh, I'm worried about tomorrow. Or would it be 9/11/2021 that they would do something? Maybe both. Now it's like every day there's some kind of FF. Alright, guys, I love y'all. I don't know. I'm gonna chill for a while. Not chill. Y'all know what I mean. It's not really chilling, but trying to work on some stuff. Just trying to get some energy up here. Kind of hunkering down. I don't want to do too much before the report because I want to kind of be ready to act on whatever's said there, right? But I will. I'll be doing some stuff. All right, guys. I'll see y'all in the next one. I love y'all. I just hope everybody's hanging in there. Say a prayer in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. In the name of Jesus Christ, dear Lord, just give strength, give courage. Give courage and strength and healing, and power of the mind. Just imbue your spirit in every targeted individual out there, everybody experiencing any of the darkness in this world that's affecting their families, themselves, their bodies, their minds, their homes. Please just give them strength, give them a way to survive, to enjoy the good things in the world, to hang on to the good things in the world and in ourselves, in our connection with you. Love you, God. Thank you for everything that you've given us. Thank you for the gift of life. Life is a gift and we fight for it. Thank you for all the people that you put in my life and all the good people that you put in everybody else's lives. Just please help us in these dark times. Please show us the way. Just guide us, heal our bodies and our minds. Please, God, just give us strength. Please let this UN report, let it be something big. Please, God, we need a miracle here. Just thank you for our lives. Thank you for everybody good in our lives. Thank you for every good human being on this earth, and just strengthen them and weaken the darkness. Whatever's in your will, Lord. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus Christ. Also, before I ended, I did want to just show you guys something that I've been doing. I think it's helping. So these heal while you sleep, healing the mind while you sleep. What I've been doing is I've been playing Dave K's CD, and I got the headgear and then the lead cap on. I haven't been wearing the motorcycle helmet. It's just too uncomfortable. Maybe I might try and get a bigger helmet. I still think it's a good idea. I know it may seem weird to some people, but invisible light, photonic energy is part of the electromagnetic spectrum that mirrors are good at. Mirrors are good at blocking microwaves too. So I think it is a good idea. It's a mirror chrome. But anyway, when I go to sleep, right, they're doing a lot of stuff. Directed dreaming, then there's layers of audible V2K, layers of inner voice V2K, layers of subliminal V2K that it's going to my subconscious, right? And then they're doing like I'm sleeping, so my mind's at rest, but then it's easier for them to play around with it. And it's been years of that, years of psychic driving. So I had to do something, and I've done this before, but doing everything, right? Trying to spin those plates. Sometimes I don't. The Q-Wave Defenders do help. Schumann resonators, I get those. They're smaller. I think I have no money, but I'm gonna replace the Q-Wave Defenders with Schumann resonators. These little things. I don't want to get off track here, but these things I play it with Dave. Is that charged? It's not charged. How'd that? I gotta charge that. That one's charged. Okay, so a lot of psychic driving, layers of hypnosis, right? So what I did is like I have my routine and I get my grounding on. If I don't wear my grounding at night, I wake up and the inner body cookedness feeling, fibromyalgia feeling is like way worse. But this with Dave K's CD, and then heal while you sleep, heal the mind while you sleep. It's like positive affirmations that I think can kind of override it. Like your mind will be listening to that while they're trying to do negative NLP, negative psychic driving reinforcement, right? And I think I've been waking up feeling a little bit better psychologically, like sometimes I wake up and like they've been doing stuff to my head, giving me dreams where I'm like, I don't even want to discuss like how horrible the dreams are, but give me this right when I wake up, just this feeling of dread and awfulness, and I'm kind of waking up in pain now, but I feel a little bit more up, I feel a little bit more subconsciously up. So I think it's a good idea to try this when you sleep. You need to somehow guard, especially Dave Case's CD. But I think we need to be doing counter hypnosis, and we need to find other ways, like people who know a lot about that, deprogramming and things like that, or whatever's very important to you, like Joel Osteen. For me, I may listen to sermons during the night of that. Don't give me a thumbs down for people that don't like Joel Osteen. I just mentioned it once, but or like Brian too said, the preachers that he listens to, dogmatic Christianity, dogmatic sermons, so things like that. We need to find better ways for people who are experiencing that, where you're getting severe NLP while you sleep, severe psychic driving, hypnosis, and things like that. I'm going to be experimenting with some more stuff like that. Because I think a lot of this, the technology, the remote neural manipulation, of course, affects the mind greatly. But the mind is a very powerful instrument. When they hypnotize you every night, that plays in a lot, magnifies times 20 what's going on. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff to keep track of. All right, guys. I love y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Um, God bless all y'all. God protect you. Um, God protect your families. All right, guys. Be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous in the Lord.